not to us, but to your name. We lift up all praise. Not to us, but to your name. We lift up all praise. Not to us, but to your name. We lift up all praise. Not to us, but to your name. We lift up all praise. Not to us, but to your name. We lift up all praise. Not to us, but to your name. We lift up all praise. You are the Lord Almighty, outshining all the stars in glory. Your love is like the wildest ocean. Oh, nothing else compares. You are the Lord Almighty, outshining all the stars in glory. Your love is like the wildest ocean. Oh, nothing else compares. Not to us, but to your name. We lift up all praise. Not to us, but to your name. We lift up all praise. Not to us, but to your name. We lift up all praise. Not to us, but to your name. We lift up all praise. You are the Lord Almighty, outshining all the stars in glory. Your love is like the wildest ocean. Oh, nothing else compares. You are the Lord Almighty, outshining all the stars in glory. Your love is like the wildest ocean. Oh, nothing else compares. So come, move, let justice roll on like a river. Let worship turn into revival. Lord, lead us back to you, back to you. So come, move, let justice roll on like a river. Let worship turn into revival. Lord, lead us back to you.
All right, so welcome. We're so glad you're with us. We've spent these past few weeks considering the effect of the brilliance, the genius of Jesus on human history, and we've been inspired by pastor and futurist Erwin Raphael McManus and his fascination with this thing, this beautiful concept, which ultimately led him to write the book, The Genius of Jesus. The brilliance of who Jesus was and how he lived, it gave us a complete picture of love. It transforms our misconceptions about what it means to fully be alive, to experience every single moment with an awareness of our God-given intention. And throughout this series, we've seen how Jesus, he transforms our understanding of empathy, and how he introduced this world to the miracle of grace, and how we stand in the middle of so many competing existential claims, and how Jesus shows us the way that is true. And how our Jesus, he simplifies the pursuit of what is good, how he taught us through his life what power actually looks like. And today we'll consider the genius of the beautiful. how Jesus gave meaning to beauty, how Jesus is the beautiful one, and how he's inviting us into a life that is filled with beauty. Wonderful, lovely, heavenly, beautiful. These are words that we use to capture some positively captivating feature of existence. We use these words to describe a great feeling or a profound moment, the quality of a great experience, vision, or even a great meal. Somehow, our lives are just drawn to it like gravity, to this peculiar thing called beauty. One of my first recollections of consciously being captivated by something beautiful took place when I was just 5. I was 5 years old, and we had these cassette tapes that changed my life. And on those cassette tapes, I was introduced to my first serious crush, and I mean serious crush, and her name was Sandy Patty. Sandy Patty, we put in the tape on a Saturday morning, and my family and I, we would listen to her songs like Was It a Morning Like This or Via Dolorosa. And it was the late 1980s, so they all had this synth, keyboard, dreamy, glamour shot vibe, and it melted my face and my heart. And I had no idea what she looked like, but I didn't need to see her face because I was absolutely convinced that she was the most beautiful person in the world. Someone with a voice like this had to have the complete package, and I was going to marry her and spend the rest of my life with her, listening to her sing to me and just entranced in this total mermaid song, I need to come and draw near to you vibe. That was my first crush, my first understanding of what it meant to be captivated by beauty. And maybe you can relate to a moment like that, drawn like gravity towards something beautiful. Something beautiful. There was beauty from the start. In the beginning, God created beauty. The book of Genesis, it paints this poetic picture of God who, from his very essence, created life. And it goes on to describe God looking at all that he set in motion and calling it good, beautiful, pleasing, complete, whole, full of purpose and intention. Let's open our Bibles to Genesis chapter 1, starting from verse 1. It says this: In the beginning, God, he created the heavens and the earth. And then you skip down to verse 3 and it says this: Then God said, let there be light. And there was light, and God saw that the light was good. And that light, the brilliance of the sun, that same sun that mesmerizes us with every sunrise and sunset, he was the first to see the beauty of that moment, and he saw that it was good. And then let me open back up Genesis chapter 1, verse 9. Let's keep reading. Chapter 1, verse 9. I lost my place. Here we go. It says, Then God said, let the waters beneath the sky flow together in one place so dry ground may appear. And here today we enjoy that stroke of creative genius. Maybe you sat at Half Moon Bay just arrested by the beauty that you see when one horizon meets another, the dry ground meeting the water's edge. And as you sat there, the word that came to mind was beautiful. Skip down to verse 11. Then God said, let the land sprout with vegetation, every sort of seed-bearing plant and trees that grow seed-bearing fruit. Now we could stay here and consider that verse all day, and it just wouldn't be enough. The variety of plant life on this planet with all of its multivariate color schemes, like every shade of green on the spectrum of green color that our eyes could possibly take in, every color of every unique flower sprinkled across fields and forests and hillsides and valleys, all on full display faithfully every spring. And I haven't even gotten to how that food, that many of these seed-bearing plants or trees, how it tastes. Our taste buds could have missed out on so much. Our life experiences could have been just this one giant utilitarian experience. Like, why do we even need to be able to see all of these colors? God could have made everything different shades of just one color. But for some reason, there's a sea of colors laid on the tapestry of the earth and constellations that cause us to look with awe and wonder at the brilliance of the Creator. He could have made every food have one singular flavor profile. Everything could have tasted like chicken. But God, He created seed-bearing fruits with a variety of flavor profiles, from mangoes to strawberries to watermelons to cherries. And I haven't even scratched the surface of flavors and spices ranging from savory to sour to sweet, and all the different textures ranging from crunchy to chewy to creamy. And then there's the presentation of the food itself. Just watch one episode of Chef's Table on Netflix and you'll be mesmerized at how beautiful food can look. It looks so good that you feel like you're doing something wrong if you take a bite and mess up the artistry of the presentation. And so you read a verse like Genesis 1:11, let the land sprout with vegetation, every sort of seed-bearing plant and trees that grow seed-bearing fruit. And this verse is not expansive enough, especially when you take a moment to consider the variety of creation. And then when you sit down and enjoy a phenomenal meal, you just sit back full-bellied and satisfied by the whole experience and say, beautiful. What a beautiful meal. So however creation came to be, His creative interaction with the material of the cosmos produced wild experiences for our senses to encounter. Encounters that strangely and miraculously, they cause us to intrinsically, from our core, they cause us to shout, beautiful. Isn't it beautiful? Let's turn to Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 11. It says this. Chapter 3, verse 11, it says, yet God has made everything. God has made everything beautiful for its own time. He has planted eternity in the human heart. But even so, people cannot see the whole scope of God's work from beginning to end. It's just too beautiful. It's just too much to take in at any singular moment, or even in a lifetime of moments. There is so much beauty to experience. And so in this moment, as we're thinking about beauty, let's pause and worship Jesus for it. Let's worship.
Such an awesome God, so mighty, so holy, so wonderful. Such an awesome God, so selfless, so generous, so faithful you are. Such an awesome God, so mighty, so
Beauty in and of itself is compelling. That's why we sing that he's an awesome God. We have this inherent longing in our souls to experience, participate in something beautiful. It's so compelling that we, even without knowing it, we endlessly chase after or desire beauty in our lives. There are entire industries designed to manipulate what should be our healthy longing for beauty. And anytime there's an opportunity to bring us down, the enemy steps in to take advantage of what should be a good soul craving. And this is what the deceiver does. He takes a core part of what we were created for, how we were created to interact with this created world, and he twists it with subtle lies to diminish our humanity. It was last week when Pastor Steve Mattson talked about the genius of the true and unpacked how Jesus is our shield for those lies and schemes of the enemy. And I encourage you to revisit that message. It was so good. But how do these lies diminish us? How do they affect us? How do they affect our lives? Well, here's a lie of the enemy that I need you to be aware of today. And the lie is this: beauty is a destination. Full stop. Beauty is a destination. This is the lie. It's a pursuit, something you chase, something out there, and maybe one day when you get there, you'll experience beauty. Maybe one day you'll be beautiful. There are entire industries that remind us of our connection to beauty, of its importance, and then simultaneously whisper to us, to our hearts, that beauty is out of our reach, that our lives and who we are will never be enough. If I just lost this much weight, then I'll finally be beautiful. If I could just buy the right socially glorified outfit, then I'll feel beautiful. If I could actually look like this photo filtered version of me, if I could just get a ton of validating likes on every post, then it would prove it. If I could just have their seemingly beautiful life, then maybe mine would feel beautiful too. If I could just buy that beautiful thing, house, car, fill in the blank, then there are beautiful homes filled with broken relationships that became casualties of pursuing or attaining beautiful things. Beauty became a destination. That is the lie. Once I get there, once I have that. For me, I wish I was a little bit taller. Because beautiful people are tall. I mean, I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her. No, I do have that. My wife, Rebecca, she's beautiful. Let's go. I'm 5'7" on my best days. Like when I wake up in the morning, I measure myself immediately, and that's when I'm at my tallest. And what's hilarious is that when I come off the stage in Livermore, a few people have said, oh wow. And there's two kinds of oh wows. There's the oh wow, I'm impressed, and then there's the oh wow, I'm sorry. It's oh wow, I thought you were taller, which is great for my self-esteem. So I know that I'll meet up with some of you who are watching online one day, and you'll be very, very disappointed. But it's both strange and completely understandable how beauty drives so many of our insecurities and our consumer decisions. It's understandable because in the brilliance of God, woven into the essence of what it means to be alive, is the necessity for beauty. And it's strange because of how willfully blind we are to the negative effects of the pursuit of beauty, beauty as a destination, the negative effects we make when we simplify beauty to a destination, when we make beauty a place, when we reduce beauty to a moment that we finally arrive. It's like sand falling through our fingers, falling at the moment we arrive at the places that we thought we would finally capture beauty. That same moment is the moment we find ourselves searching again, wanting. Jesus, forgive us. Jesus, forgive us. we repent. Together we repent of our vain, empty, fruitless pursuits. And we sing this song of lament.
I'm sorry when I've just gone through the motions. I'm sorry when I just sang another song. Take me back to where we started. I open up my heart to you. And I'm sorry when I've come with my agenda. I'm sorry when I forgot that you're enough. Take me back to where we started. I open up my heart to you. 'Cause I'm caught up in your presence. 'Cause I just want to sit here at your feet. I'm caught up in this holy moment. I never want to leave. No, I'm not here for blessings. Jesus, you don't owe me anything more than anything that you can do. I just want you. Just want you. Yes, more than anything that you can do. I just want you.
It was 700 years before Jesus was born. And the prophet Isaiah, he wrote about Jesus in Isaiah 52, verses 2 and 3. Let's turn there. Isaiah 52, verses 2 and 3. It says, "My servant grew up in the Lord's presence like a tender green shoot, like a root in dry ground." There was nothing beautiful or majestic about his appearance. There was nothing that attracted us to him. He was despised and rejected, a man of sorrows, acquainted with our deepest grief. And we turned our backs on him and looked the other way. He was despised, and we did not care. Isn't it interesting that the one who created everything with such precision and infinite beauty, the one who gave flowers their form and their fragrance, the one who decided that our dinner should be delicious, the one who laid the foundations and gave the earth its awe-inspiring form, that same creator was found lacking. There was nothing beautiful or majestic about his appearance, nothing that would attract us to him, yet within him is the power to be the most beautiful expression of beauty itself. The capacity to be so beautiful that you could not look away, and yet he was perceived by this world as someone that we could turn our backs on. Which begs the question, what have we turned our lives towards? We've given the high ground of our lives to so many things, people, other than Jesus. And there's nothing wrong with being informed or inspired by what's available to us, but we've given authority, which is so different than being informed to podcasters or authors or influencers and social media outlets and Twitter feeds. Authority to lead us into a suboptimal, at best, pursuit of a beautiful life. We've turned our backs. Somehow, some way, Jesus isn't beautiful enough. Why is that? I mean, how is that even possible? How could so many people see Jesus and not see beauty? What happened to our senses, to our ability to see what is beautiful? How could he not be beautiful? Well, remember that lie. Beauty is a destination. That it's simply found in the way that you appear. But his appearance, it was lacking. Remember the lie that it's found in the beautiful things that you acquire. But Matthew 8:20, Jesus said, foxes have dens to live in and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place even to lay his head. He had nothing. The genius of Jesus is that he reframes our misconceptions about possessing, capturing, becoming what is beautiful. Jesus shows us what beauty truly is and how to attain it. Beauty isn't just something, a place, a possession, a moment, or an experience that we arrive at. Beauty is found in something else. Listen, beauty is found in both the path and the destination. Beauty is the path and the destination. And what do I mean by that? Well, my wife and I, we took our family camping to Yosemite a few years back, and we wanted to show them the tranquility and the beauty of it all. I mean, the granite cliffs and the waterfalls and all of that biological diversity. And while there, we visited this place off the road when we were on our way to a spot called Hetch Hetchy. It had the most beautiful clear streams and fresh pools of water. And after that, we took our kids further on in to see Half Dome. And I remember on the drive there thinking to myself, this was going to be the most beautiful part of this trip. And it was so gorgeous. We were overwhelmed at the size and the scale of this monstrosity. Giant rock forms. The landscape was second to none. These giant sequoia groves all around, and my family was just in awe. And I remember leaving that place thinking how cool that place was, so beautiful. And then as we were driving away, I hear a whisper from the back seat, and it was my daughter Lily, and she said, "I want to be baptized." I thought I was overwhelmed before at what we'd just seen, but in that moment, I hit new levels of being overwhelmed, and I wasn't sure what caused her to say that. I mean, maybe it was just the revelation of God through the beauty of creation, and she was convinced in that moment that she needed to be baptized, and I knew just the place to go to do this. Those pools in that clear stream that I happened to find on the way to Hetch Hetchy that we'd been at earlier that day. It was so beautiful. I even jotted down the GPS coordinates to make sure I'll be able to find it again. So we rushed back over there, and I baptized Lily and my son Isaiah, who also wanted to do the same. And what was most beautiful that day wasn't the destination of Yosemite itself. It wasn't the massive rock forms that stood tall and proud, or those skyscraping sequoias. The most beautiful thing was witnessing my son and my daughter, their lives laid low. Yes. As they went down into the water, surrendered to Jesus, committed to living each day in the way that demonstrates a love for God and their neighbors. Lives set on the beautiful path of selflessness and sacrifice. Lives where both the destination and the path are marked by beauty. That day, both the beautiful destination of Yosemite and the beautiful path of commitment to Jesus, they collided, creating a full picture of beauty. This is the genius of Jesus. He reorients our relationship with beauty. And I'll say it again. This is the genius of Jesus. He reorients our relationship with beauty. There was nothing beautiful or majestic about his appearance, but there was everything beautiful and majestic about the path of his life. John 1:14, let's turn there. John, one of Jesus' disciples, writes this. So the Word became human and made his home among us, and he was full of unfailing love and faithfulness. And we have seen his glory, the glory of the Father's one and only Son. John, who witnessed Jesus' life, wrote this after he had been with Jesus, after the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus. And what he is describing when he says, and we have seen his glory, is the glory that isn't just found in a moment. It's glory that doesn't just simply describe Jesus' appearance. It's a kind of glory that can only be revealed through the sum total of Jesus' life. As you observe the path that Jesus took, each day John witnessed Jesus live a beautiful life, one of sacrifice and surrender to the Father, one that was constantly concerned with the needs of those around him, a life that routinely caused him to reach the brink of exhaustion and still give so much. A life with no beautiful belongings or possessions, but a life that was possessed by love to show everyone love. It wasn't just that Jesus' death on the cross was a beautifully sacrificial act. It's that he lived a beautiful, honorable, noble, heroic, sacrificial, sinless life. And his beautiful life hung on a cross, taking on the tragedy and the ugliness of my sin and my failures, taking from me what I deserved in order to make my life beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? Yes. And this is the Christian life. It's not about just saying yes to Jesus. That isn't the destination. The day, the moment that you give your life to him, you begin the journey on the beautiful path. And so when John writes, and we have seen his glory, the glory of the Father's one and only Son, he's writing this in response to the beautiful path Jesus took in order to give us a beautiful destiny, a destiny that begins here and now. Beauty is found in the path and the destination. Beauty is the path and the destination. We were created to connect with beauty in this way, to travel the beautiful path, to live lives as Jesus did, marked by sacrifice, mindful of others, and meeting the needs of those around us each day. This is the beautiful way. This is the genius of Jesus. Maybe some of you have been listening today and there's conviction in your heart about the things you've been pursuing and the way it's left you wanting and feeling empty. And today, something about living a beautiful life, it's stirring something in you. Something about that reality, that beauty is the path, has awakened you. Friend, that's Jesus. That's your heart. From the core, from who you are, from how you were created to be, responding to his beautiful love. The way that it was intended to be from the beginning. And I can't leave this moment without an invitation to walk the beautiful path. I'm inviting you into this invitation to walk the beautiful path led by Jesus and his beautiful heart. So if that's you today, today is the day. And we'd love to journey with you. Would you pray with me? Jesus, you've awakened something new. I can sense it. There was a striving for a beautiful life. There was a striving and there was a reaching and there was a feeling of failure. But you today are reminding us that there's this connection to you, our God, who's reorienting our understanding of beauty. But we don't have to run anymore or chase after anymore. You're calling us into a life that walks the beautiful path. And in this moment, we say yes to you. I thank you for the person that is saying yes to you right now. I thank you that you see them as beautiful, that their life is beautiful, that you died on the cross to make us all beautiful. We thank you and we love you. We receive your leadership over our lives. We worship you, Jesus. Amen.
I'm caught up in your presence. I just want to sit here at your feet. I'm caught up in this holy moment. Never want to leave. No, I'm not here for blessings. Jesus, you don't owe me anything more than anything that you can do. I just want you. I just want you. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else will do. I just want you. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else will do. I just want you. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else will do. I just want you. Nothing else. Nothing else, Jesus. Nothing else will do. I just want you. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else will do. I just want you. Nothing else. Nothing else, Jesus. Nothing else will do. Oh, 'cause I'm caught up in your presence. I just wanna sit here at your feet. I'm caught up in this holy moment. Never wanna leave. Never wanna leave. No, I'm not here for blessings. Jesus, you don't owe me anything more than anything that you can do. I just want you. What can wash away my sin?
Wait, before you go, 3 things. First, please consider becoming one of Cornerstone Fellowship's financial partners. Your donations will ensure that you'll be able to continue enjoying helpful and hopefully life-changing messages like the one you just watched. And number 2, please share the link to this message with anyone who you know needs it or will be blessed by it, or post the link to your own personal social platforms. And finally, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you'll be alerted whenever we post more content. Thanks for watching.